You're very welcome back to the show now. Do you take a daily dose of cod liver oil? How about some folic acid if you're pregnant or trying to be? Well, officials announced late last year that a 23% VAT fee would be applied on all food supplements from today. They've now announced they're delaying the planned hike until the 1st of November, but there's been a huge outcry against this. But is it justified? Now I'm joined by nutritionist Paula Duggan to share with us her thoughts on these vitamins and food supplements that have become so popular over the last couple of years. Paula, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And this is, I suppose, is a subject that's fascinated loads of people because we're bombarded with ads. You need to take this, that and the other thing. This will grow your hair. This will grow something else. I mean, we don't know where the wood from the trees when it comes to supplements. So which ones are necessary in Ireland for us to take?
Okay, so I kind of have two schools of thought on this whole argument, but actually the ones that are really important, we'll say vitamin D.
Why is that, vitamin D?
Vitamin D is important because it's difficult to get in the diet. There's only one really good source, and that's oily fish. And a lot of Irish people don't eat oily fish.
We get it from sun as well, which we don't have an abundance of.
Exactly. So because of our northerly latitude, we have some difficulties there. But there's other issues with the production in your skin. Sunscreen, for example, blocks the production of vitamin D in your skin.
So all Irish people should be supplementing themselves, basically?
Particularly in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I would say in the wintertime, yeah, and especially if you don't eat oily fish. But vitamin D is definitely one of the ones that I would categorise as an important one. It actually acts like a medicine. If you have a particular medical condition, vitamin D is what's going to be prescribed if you have rickets or if you have osteoporosis. So there
what does vitamin D do? It helps.
So it's basically it helps with your bones. So rickets, for example, which was something just of the industrial times, it was a big issue, and you kind of got these bow-shaped legs. But actually, there were incidents of it in Ireland in recent years again. So they introduced vitamin D supplementation in infants.
Wow.
So infants are get it across the board, whether you're formula fed or breastfed. For the rest of us, really, it is definitely a consideration in Ireland.
Medically necessary.
Yes.
What other things would be medically necessary?
Folic acid, if you're planning on getting pregnant, or there's a bigger argument, it's really if you're of childbearing age, is kind of the policy that you should be taking folic acid.
Because of spina bifida, isn't it?
Because of the risk of spina bifida, and we have one of the highest incidents of spina bifida in the world.
My sister died as a baby of spina bifida, actually, because my mother was carrying twins and she didn't know, nobody knew about the folic acid, this thing. And interestingly enough, her twin who survived, she was paranoid about folic acid during her pregnancy and before the supplementation, and her daughter was born with that little dimple, so if she wasn't taking her supplements, God knows what would have happened. And
we are kind of genetically predisposed in Northern Europe to spina bifida, but 70% of cases are preventable by taking folic acid.
Wow.
But there is, I can mention a few more: vitamin D, folic acid, iron, calcium and vitamin D. But the thing is, what I actually discovered is that there are exemptions being made. So this isn't...
To this planned VAT.
So there's a 23% VAT being put on food supplements, but there are exemptions. But no list of exemptions has been administered to pharmacists, for example. You literally have to go onto the HPR website and type in vitamins and minerals one by one to see whether they actually come up or not.
Wow.
So they have to be licensed with the HPRA to be exempt. And really the good news is the important ones seem to be on the list, but it's not across the board. It's tricky, and there's a lot more to this than people actually realise, or that I realise myself. Folic acid in the health food shop, which might not be registered with the HPRA and have a product authorisation, that might not be exempt.
But it would be in a pharmacy.
Particular brands in the pharmacy.
Is that because there's so much, I suppose, snake oil, for want of a better phrase, being sold? Because you can buy something off the internet, or you can go into a health food shop. It might say something on the tin, but there's no kind of hallmark to say, yes, this is good for you, this is right. As a nation, so many people are suffering from some type of orthorexia, obsessed with health, obsessed with supplements, and taking a load of stuff they don't need that's actually not doing any good. How can you tell the difference?
Well, I don't know whether this is what the government are thinking by having some exempt. Are they just thinking, look, these are really important ones for medical conditions? All those ones are also available on the medical card, for example. So anything that's a food supplement that's available on the medical card is going to be exempt. So that's all good. Yes. I wonder, are they also trying to regulate the market? Because you walk into a health food shop on the high street and people are taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C off the shelf. The recommended daily allowance for vitamin C is 80 milligrams.
See, that's a funny one, because we're told if you have a cold, take loads of vitamin C. But vitamin C is water soluble. You pee the extra out.
Pee it out. You're making a very expensive urine. But you know what you need to eat
Yes.
to get enough vitamin C in a day?
What?
A glass of orange juice and a potato. It's probably one of the easiest vitamins of all of them to actually achieve your target. The recommended daily allowance is 80, but they sell it in 2 quantities in health food shops, 500 and 1,000.
Wow. So if you are deficient in something, that's the only time you should really be taking supplements? Can they boost your overall health, or are people just wasting a load of money on stuff they don't need?
I think people are wasting a lot of money on ones that they don't need. The general thought behind supplements is they are meant to fill gaps, in, nutritional deficiencies. So if you think you're deficient in iron, you don't just go and get iron. You should go to your doctor. You should have your irons checked, your bloods checked. If you're low in iron, you go on iron for 4 to 6 weeks. You go back and get your blood checked. If it's corrected, you stop taking iron.
Yeah.
You don't take iron forever. Things should be taken as required for a specified length of time.
Yeah, and I suppose people are kind of thinking, oh, big pharma and doctors are evil and we should go the natural route, but the natural route sometimes is leading us slightly astray. Not all the time now, but
yeah, not all the time, but
self-diagnosis is probably one of the worst things you can do when it comes to that. Like, I know I've been to a dietitian recently for health issues, but like I'm on zinc and I'm on magnesium and things like that, but I've been told I need to be on these things and iron.
That's fine. Like, if a doctor or a dietitian prescribes for a specific reason and you're given a specific dose and you're probably told to stay on these for a specific length of time, that's fine. But that's different to your friend saying to you, do you know what you should go on now, Elaine?
You're a bit tired. Go on a bit, get a B12 injection or something like that.
This was really good.
Yeah.
And I think, as far as I can tell, the B12 injections are also exempt from this fat.
What about hypervitaminosis? Is there any vitamins that in too much dosage can do us harm?
Fat-soluble vitamins.
That's ADK.
A, D, E and K.
E, right.
A, D, E and K. So
people take loads of vitamin E for their skin, and that too much can be bad.
Yeah, now there can be different forms of vitamins as well, but let's say, for example, vitamin A is one where you can reach toxic levels with vitamin A. So vitamin A comes in 2 forms. It comes in retinol, which we find in liver, and we'd find in cod liver oil. But also then we find it in carrots. That's the carotenoids. You can't overdose on the carotenoid version of vitamin A, but you can overdose on the type that's found in liver and the type that's found in cod liver oil.
Or fish oils in general?
Not all fish oils have vitamin A and vitamin D in it. Cod liver oil has vitamin A, D and E, and then now some of them actually add in the fish oils. So all the regular cod liver oils that we would have seen on the shelves over the years, the bottles, some of them now have fish oils too.
We're all dosed when we were younger, 1 a day, 1 capsule a day. Could that harm you if you took 1 a day?
No.
Is it no harm to do it?
Do you know, because you're getting your vitamin D, and in the winter time, it's probably not a bad idea. But somebody close to me said to me recently, this age-old adage, well, if 1 spoon is good, this is my dad, 3 spoons...
I love the way you just dropped him in there.
3 spoons must be really good. That makes sense, doesn't it? So he was taking 3 times more vitamin A and vitamin D, which both are fat-soluble, which means that we don't pee them out and they accumulate in your body. And they can cause liver damage and kidney damage.
You're actually drinking oil that stays in your system. We forget about these things.
So I killed him.
I'm not surprised you did now. Is there any other mistakes you think that people are making? Particularly, I'm thinking young men. There's an obsession with Body Beautiful and protein and whey and creatine and all these things. Are these things bad for you? Like, I don't even know what creatine is for. Is there any need for anyone to be taking it?
It's basically more power in your muscles, whereas like whey is kind of like, to build muscle, and then creatine is for more power.
Can it harm you?
No, they are safe. And like whey essentially is the protein taken from cow's milk. So, I mean, it's safe. It's as safe as can be. There are a lot of sweeteners and stuff added into them. Sometimes then there's sugar alcohol is added in.
What is sugar alcohol now?
So a sugar alcohol would be something like sorbitol or mannitol or xylitol that you'd see on chewing gums. Okay? So sugar is 4 calories per gram. Sugar alcohol is 2.5 calories per gram. So it's lower in calories and it doesn't have the same effect on our blood sugar levels. So it'd be in diabetic products and stuff. But actually, they're in a lot of the protein bars. And a dietitian I know who does a lot of work with, gut health, said that she was noticing a lot of people were coming to her complaining of IBS symptoms. And when she'd look at their diet, she'd see that they were eating 2 or 3 protein bars a day, and they're full of sugar alcohol. So then she removed them from the diet, and their IBS symptoms go away.
Yeah.
So
Laxative effect.
They can have a laxative effect. They can give you cramps.
Yeah. They have their place though, because I never would have touched protein bars, and my dietitian said they're really good for hunger. So have a protein bar in the evening to stop you running downstairs and eating a box of cornflakes.
Saying that, I'd probably say have actual food with protein in it is probably the best advice. So generally, are these things necessary? The guys and the bodybuilding and all that. The general rule of thumb is get your protein from food.
Yeah.
If you're a bodybuilder, it can be quite difficult to get the amount of protein you need from just food. It isn't for me to get the amount of protein I need, but it can be for people who maybe need 150 grams of protein a day to maintain their muscle. So then they are going to be relying on whey drinks and stuff.
So basically, if you
they do work.
If you medically need any food supplements, you won't have to pay the 23% VAT, as far as we know, if it's a medical need. So you'll be exempt. It's only kind of the people who are taking buckets of the stuff.
As far as we know, but there hasn't been a clear list.
Because it should have kicked in today, and it hasn't. It's kicked off to November, but watch this space, I guess. Right. Listen, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge today. Thank you very much. Now time for a quick break.